Hey people, a couple of days ago a new Star Wars animated series was announced. It's called Star Wars Rebels, and I'm very excited about it, partially because of the people who are confirmed to be working on it. The executive producers include Dave Filoni, Greg Weisman, and Simon Kinberg. Dave Filoni was the supervising director of Star Wars The Clone Wars, and he also worked on 9 episodes of Avatar The Last Airbender. So a very strong animation background there. Star Wars The Clone Wars I think is a great series, and just a great example of how to do a Star Wars animated series. And a lot of people I know have issues with Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but I think it finds a good tone, good action, and all that. So hopefully, Star Wars Rebels will be similar to that, and maybe even a step up. Greg Weisman was the creator of Gargoyles and one of the producers on the show, executive producer of The Spectacular Spider-Man, and one of the creators and producers of Young Justice. So another person there with a very strong animation background. And then Simon Kinberg worked on Sherlock Holmes, X-Men First Class, and a lot of other Hollywood movies. And he will be writing one of the upcoming Star Wars movies that's not part of the new trilogy, one of the solo movies focused on one of the characters from the universe, like Yoda or somebody like that. So he's closely tied to the world of Star Wars, so it'll be cool to have him there, and someone who does have a background in Hollywood films doing this animated series. So hopefully it'll be pretty cool and feel like a part of the new movies that they're making, kind of match the tone that they're going for there. And just with Dave Filoni and Greg Weisman, you've got Avatar: The Last Airbender, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Young Justice, 4 of what I would consider to be the best animated series of the last decade. Really good shows there, so I'm very excited about this. I think they're going to do great work on this series. And just to get into some of what we know about it, the timeline is it's set between episode 3 and episode 4, when the Empire is securing its grip on the galaxy while the rebellion is rising to challenge it. So Luke is probably not going to be involved in this series at all, since he's not in the rebellion until episode 4, when he starts his whole journey and everything. So maybe at the very end we might see a little bit of him, but I doubt we'll see any Luke Skywalker throughout this series. But Leia is a possibility. We don't know. I mean, there's a 20-year gap between episode 3 and episode 4, so there's a long time to cover, and I'm not sure how much they'd attempt to cover of that and what the timeline of the series is, but there are a lot of possibilities there, so it's pretty cool.
I think it would be very cool if the final story arc of this series was the lead up to the chase sequence that is the opening of Star Wars Episode 4, the original film, where Leia and C-3PO and R2-D2 are with the rebels fleeing from the Imperial Star Destroyer. But, hopefully that's a long ways off, and this series will be very good and last a long time, so we won't see the ending for a while. But if it is a great series, that would be an amazing ending.
A lot of people, including myself, and assume that if they were going to create a new animated series for Star Wars, considering they have Episode 7 and the new trilogy coming up, that the new animated series would try to bridge the gap between Episode 6 and Episode 7, and you would focus on Luke, Leia, Han, and those characters. But this is also a very interesting direction to go in. I'm not sure which I'd prefer. Like, I'm leaning towards the post episode 6 series, but I'm very excited about this series anyway. I think it's going to be very cool, and maybe in the future we'll see something bridging episode 6 and episode 7. But just for a marketing standpoint, it seemed like it would be sensible to try to do a series between 6 and 7 to try to catch people up and see where things are going. But I trust that they know what they're doing with this, and this show will be making its debut in the fall of 2014, so I'm very excited about this. As you can tell, I've probably said that about 6 or 7 times throughout this video, but I think it's in good hands, and they've got a lot to work with there. It's a big gap between episode 3 and episode 4, so there's a lot that they can do and a lot that they can explore there, so I'm very curious to see how this turns out. That's really all I've got to say in this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next time.